Haven't seen you in a while. Welcome back.
Thank you very much, General. Actually, I was in Kurdistan.
All right, welcome back.
Many official sources, including Minister of Pesmerga, they told me ISIS are serious threat in Iraq, in Syria, and in the region. And he believed it is very important for whole of Iraq, international coalition stay in Iraq. Do you have any comment of that?
Well, as you know, the conversations with the Higher Military Commission continue. I don't have any updates to provide on the outcomes of that, other than to say that we, as part of the U.S.-Iraq Joint Security Dialogue, which includes Pesmerga representation, is looking at what the transition for the coalition OIR will be, and what the future of the U.S.-Iraq bilateral security cooperation is. When it comes to ISIS, you're right. It does continue to be a threat. Certainly, ISIS is not as capable as it was 10 years ago, but they do continue to pose a threat, particularly in ungoverned spaces within Syria, and also as it relates to ISIS prisoners in Al-Hol that need to be repatriated. So this is something that we are not going to take our eyes off of. And we'll continue to keep you updated on that front.
Following question. Do you believe cooperation between Peshmerga and Iraqi army is important to push back ISIS, and especially in disputed area like Kirkuk?
Yeah, look, there's no question, first of all, that Iraqi security forces writ large, which includes Peshmerga, have played a vital role in terms of reducing the threat that ISIS poses. But as we've seen in places like Afghanistan, left unchecked, ISIS can start to make a resurgence. And so, again, we'll continue to work with our Iraqi partners, our Peshmerga partners, to address this threat. Let me go to Constantine, and then I'll come to you, Carla.
Thanks, Pat. Yesterday, President Zelenskyy was quoted in Ukrainian media saying that he deliberately did not disclose plans of his Kursk mission to Western allies. Is that something that the Pentagon, that dynamic is something that the Pentagon expects to be part of the relationship going forward? And is that a source of concern in this building?
Well, look, I think our commitment and support for Ukraine is strong. Right, and we're going to continue to support them for the long haul, as you've heard Secretary Austin and others say. We're going to always keep those channels of communication open, because the better we understand what Ukraine's objectives are, the better we can support them. And so this is why we have multiple mechanisms, to include frequent phone calls between Secretary Austin and his counterpart, and forums like the UDCG where we can have those discussions. But at the end of the day, again, it's important to take a step back in terms of what we're trying to achieve here, and that's a free and sovereign Ukraine that is able to defend itself and deter future Russian aggression.
So just quick follow-up, sorry. No, you would say that there's no change in the closeness of the relationship between
Absolutely
the U.S.
not. Nope.
Thank you, Pat. Couple of follow-ups. So follow-up to Orrin's question. USS Georgia is still not in the CENTCOM AOR? Is that what you just said?
It's in transit.
Mm-hmm. It is heading towards the CENTCOM AOR?
It's been ordered to the CENTCOM AOR. Why are you asking your question so incredulously?
It's taking them an awful long time to get there. That's why I'm just trying to track to make sure that it is indeed going to CENTCOM. Okay, just wanted to make sure. And then on Ukraine, just to follow up to Lito's question, there have been other attacks outside Kursk. There was a drone attack that targeted a fuel depot like 700 kilometers south of Kursk, about 250 kilometers away from the Ukrainian border. Is that pulling any Russian forces outside of Ukraine? Have you seen them, if they're not moving into Kursk, have you seen them pull back to Russia? What can you say on how these attacks have updated and affected the battlefield in Ukraine?
Yeah, broadly speaking, Carla, again, what you see is the vast majority of Russian forces along the eastern front in Ukraine, occupying Ukrainian territory and focused on, in some areas, on largely defensive, but in some areas focused on offensive operations, attempting to take additional Ukrainian territory. As it relates to any type of Ukrainian operations inside Russia that you're referencing, that's inside Russia. So, they already have forces inside Russia. I just don't have anything on that. All right, let me go back to the phone here. Jeff Shogel, Task and Purpose.
Thank you.